maybe St. Patrick's Day.
I think it was, yeah. I think that was the first
I
order for
remember
this.
it because I was like, I have to put that on. I want to start the show with it. I feel really good about it, and it was the most popular sweater in our show.
Oh,
and so
great.
I'm happy to have it gracing my
You can sell
shoulders
it.
once again.
I saw yesterday, Melissa wore it in the most interesting way. She actually just draped one of them
Did
over
she do
her shoulder.
this?
She did. That's exactly what she did. It looks so good.
Do I look like Melissa McGough? It's such a gorgeous piece. It's one of my favorites. So we're talking about Aran Craft, and Aran Craft has this really great way of bridging tradition, Irish tradition, with fashion-forward pieces, all done in 100% merino wool, which is the best of the best. It is soft. Don't think there's anything itchy about this. It is self-regulating in temperature, and they bring to us so many styles and more colors than they bring to anyone else. So we love our
true.
relationship. QVC and Aran Craft. Now, this is the only order of the year. It just came back into stock. This is the Shawl Fringe, merino wool shawl with fringe trim. There we go.
It's a real tongue twister.
Only order this year. It's $129.98, and it's a $25 or $26 easy pay. It's A637498. So while we're speaking of colors, let me take you through. I'm wearing in the parsnip. You know, it's always like one of my absolute faves. 900 remain in the parsnip. Oh, I love the drape on this so much. Now, Barry is holding it in the meadow green. 900, and then here is your ultramarine. 500 in the ultramarine.
And these are all marled colors as well.
These are all marled colors. You are correct in that. Now, Barry Cullen, third generation of Aran Craft. Tell me a little bit about the story of Aran Craft.
Sure. So Aran Craft was started in 1957 by my grandmother, Molly Cullen. She was a bit of a trailblazer at her time. She started the business then, which was then continued on by my father Paul and my uncle John, of course, who many people who were tuning in regularly to QVC for the Irish Days, they would know that he's been a guest on here many times, and he was here on St. Patrick's Day this year. And now we're in the third generation, so there's myself and my brother Niall, and of course people will also know my sister-in-law Emma, who comes over and guests with us as well. Hopefully she'll be back for St. Patrick's Day next year as well. So what we always try to do is we want to take these very traditional stitches. So these stitches were developed really in the Aran Islands, which are these three little fishing communities in the Atlantic off the coast of Galway. And what the people found is that if they knit these chunky cables, that it captured little pockets of air within the wool. And what it meant is that you could actually get a much more a greater kind of thermal insulation and temperature regulation than you could have if you were knitting just a flat kind of on the flat fabric. Right. And then people kind of were looking at them and said, "Oh God, these patterns that they're making are beautiful." And really, that was how the cable knit sweater or the Aran style sweater was born. And really, now it's just a quintessential piece of fashion that's always just going to be there. I think it's never going to go out of fashion.
I don't think it will either. But the fashions that you keep on bringing to us are contemporary, while still having that nod to the past.
So what we try to do now, 3 generations in, we're trying to take these traditional kind of stitches and really just bring them into the 21st century and bring them into something that's a little bit more fashion forward. And this really is a nod back to my grandmother. Now she also liked to do kind of hand knitting, and her sister loved to do crocheting. And they would always have something like this, and because they were able to keep their yarn in the pockets of the front of her. Of course, in old houses, like our house at home is a couple of 100 years old, and so there was always going to be, if the fire wasn't lit, everybody wanted to have something draped over their shoulders. So this really is a nod to the sort of things that they would actually wear. And we added some beautiful trimming to kind of give a little bit of a modern touch to it as well.
That little fringe trim. Now, everything is intentional when it comes to your sweaters, your shawls, whatever it is that we are speaking to, whether that is the cabling, which comes with history and story, but the cabling also serves as the structure of the piece as well.
Yeah, so often we find like that if we want to kind of create a kind of a nice little break in a pattern or something, like that, you can actually see it on the back here. In design, when you see a kind of a contrast between a vertical pattern and a horizontal pattern, it triggers something in the brain that it makes it very appealing and very enjoyable to look at. So what we do here is, and this also serves a design function, because this is effectively where the shoulder pass would be on a sweater. So So once we have this horizontal here, this is what like a traditional shawl would normally be something that you would just drape over your shoulders.
Right.
But then we add these vertical pieces as well. So really, what you do is it looks like just a straight strip material, but it's actually been shaped around your shoulders a little bit. So you can see it. You can see the way it's this. There's actually some very subtle shaping that's happening all the way down here. So otherwise it would just kind of drape in a very kind of unflattering way. This is going to kind of curve around, then blow the emperor out, and then curl in at the bottom.
I have to tell you, there's something so elegant about this piece, kind of like old world and wistful, if you ask me. Like, this is something that I would throw over my shoulders on a chilly morning and taking my dog out for a walk, as much as I would wear this to dinner with friends in an elegant restaurant. It's that beautiful shawl that is comfortable to wear. I love that it doesn't slip off. You look great in that parsnip behind me.
And that's,
Great minds think alike over there.
And that's because of this horizontal piece. That's the horizontal piece going across, and then the weight of the vertical piece that's attached to the back means that it has enough that it catches on your shoulder and it doesn't fall off.
It doesn't move, and you get that warmth over your shoulders. This is a great piece when you go into those outdoor concerts.
Oh,
and you always
great idea!
Need like a
of
little
course,
something just to throw over your shoulders when
with
the
a
sun
practical
goes
pocket,
down.
so you can put your phone or your keys into it as well.
I love the pockets on this. They're nice and deep pockets. So 3 colors to choose from. I'm wearing it in the parsnip. Here is the meadow green. And then we also have ultramarine. Now, there are 2 sizes here, and pretty easy. There is a Missy and a plus. So the Missy is going to be 32 inches in length, and that's what I'm wearing right now. And then the plus is going to be 34.5 inches in length. So keep that in mind while you're shopping. This is one of the easiest gifting opportunities possible.
Oh, it really is. I don't think when you go down to like really just 1 or 2 sizes, it just means that. Also, really, if you want to get a size up on it, it's really still, there's going to be enough wool there that it's going to drape and hang in a very flattering way, regardless of even if it's a little bit longer than you had originally planned.
Now, let's talk about cleaning, and we'll talk about this throughout, because there's a different way to care for Aran.
Minimal, really is what we say. Like, so we say dry clean only, but that's really the real goal is to keep these out of washing machines at all costs.
Right.
Spot cleaning, if you really need to, but very little. There should be very little to do, because there's a certain amount of this natural oil left in the wool called lanolin, and what that does, it allows the fabric to be a little bit resistant to stains. And so really all you might really have to do, especially this coming into this time of year where you might be out at a fire pit or a barbecue or maybe at a bonfire, you might pick up a little scent of wood smoke or something like that in it. And really all we say that is drape this over a clothes horse out on a breezy day, and we call it air washing. The one thing we say is we're showing them here on hangers for demonstration purposes. Never hang anything knitted, because it'll cause it to deform and stretch.
Droops.
Really, when you're not using it, keep it folded up in a drawer out of direct sunlight, and this is something that's going to last you for years. Now,
you mentioned at the top of our presentation that all of these are marled. Can you explain what that means?
So if you look close up on this, a marled yarn is where we actually get 2 complementing colours, and we use one end of each of them to actually create the thread that will then be used to knit the garment. So in here you've got a lighter green and then a kind of a deeper, kind of more cedary kind of green. And it's the same in the parsnip. You've got a white or a natural, and then you've got a kind of a slightly toasty kind of biscuit kind of element as well.
Really gorgeous.
And then in the ultramarine, what we have is an almost black navy and a blue.
That one's rich. That one's midnighty. It's really a gorgeous color. It looks beautiful. Stacey's
really
wearing it.
Clearly there,
oh, that's a great job. Really see it beautifully against Stacey's black sweater that she's wearing.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a great piece. This feels like a piece. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we have our sweaters, we have our cardigans, we even have a pullover in our show, which I've never presented before, which I'm excited about. But this is your comfort piece while still being so elegant and
transitional,
so
coming into fall.
Right.
Like, depending on part of the country, you never know when there's going to be a little bit of a chill in the air.
Right. Okay, so this is $26 on an easy pay. I'm wearing it in the parsnip. This is your meadow green, and then we also have it for you in the ultramarine. $129.98, a $26 easy pay. Just 2 sizes, a Missy and a plus, about 4 inches, 4.5 inches, 2.5 inches difference. It's A637498. All right, we're off to a good start. We have more with you,
See you in a few minutes.
I had to show you this blanket, by